basically this new character I've been thinking. I've already kind of Berta, I think Berta was in the chat, but because I already discussed it a bit with Eloquence since the concept would play really off of his. But it basically be another Yuan-Ti, but a paladin this time. If that's fine with you.
I don't know. I kind of have had my fill with a Yuan-Ti.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't be like the mysterious snake guy. I'd be more like, you know, a paladin, a knight kind of guy.
Yeah, but the Yuan-Ti don't really serve any gods.
Yeah, they have multiple gods, and anyway, we are in a world where there's people from other worlds. I've always kind of devised a whole fate around
There might be exceptions, fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean, I already kind of devised a whole fate that would revolve around, because like if I go, like I based it from lore from the Forgotten Realms, but also kind of give it a spin that it would work from another world too.
Yeah.
But basically, there's these things called primal spirits, and there's one that's called the World Serpent or Ouroboros or the Great Scaled One, which is basically the one that gave the knowledge to an ancient race in the Forgotten Realms that made them create the Yuan-Ti. So in this world, and it kind of and like they gave like so basically the primal spirit, it helped fighting off the primordials with the gods at the Age of Dawn, and anyway, so basically it'd be kind of based on that whole thing. Let me see, I wrote it all. So basically,
hey Bertha,
he's
you still there?
Oh yeah.
So what do you remember about the cult, Bertha? Ask Joanne.
One. Well, I know that they sacrifice people. They like kidnap specifically females.
What's the name of the cult?
Oh, hold up. Ouroboros? Wait, no. Cerberus! Is that what it?
Yeah. Well.
Give me a second. Let me check my notes.
Zook is getting where I'm going with this.
Wait a minute. What?
Anyway,
look, the fact there is a shared name does not mean anything. Anyway, my argument though is that since Ouroboros, or you know the World Serpent, can like in Forgotten Realms fragmented in himself, and each fragment became a god. I don't see why Ouroboros itself would not be able to work as a god, even though he's technically a primal spirit, which is a kind of divine being that druids worship, among others.
According to lore as well, Ouroboros split himself. Yes, that is true. But the gods in these primal spirits only have access to the worlds connected to the weave.
I mean, I'm mostly familiar with the. Basically, I've just been.
Yeah.
Okay, I've just been because, like I said, I've just mostly looked, but I don't know. I've worked a lot on this.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry to. So we can work.
And I mean, I don't see why would a Yuan-Ti from another world could not work, because like would not work.
No. I'm good with the Yuan-Ti already.
Okay.
Like I was already like okay with the Yuan-Ti. Now I'm just thinking about this other god. So yeah, yes.
Because it's one that would make sense, considering it can be kind of like the way I've seen it is that that's in this world that he comes from. Basically, the Yuan-Ti never had that kind of power trip of conquering the world kind of thing happening. Instead, they kind of became tight, I guess you could say, with other reptile races, so like turtles and lizardborns and dragonborns. So like, but basically, yeah, they would mostly worship this guy. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of a cool god, and yeah, And also, the other question would be kind of more about biology because I've kind of
Yeah.
researched a lot of snake biology because I think since I'm not gonna be like full on snake like eloquent, how would it work if I was like half snake or something? So,
So half human, half snake, down up or up down?
oh no, I mean like basically humanoid but with snake things because like really like more
So
because he would be
basically,
like
I
a
don't
pure
remember
blood
their
and not
name.
an abomination.
There's
Pure bloods, half bloods, and abominations. I would be more of a pure blood.
huh? If you're a pure blood, then you're like
No, eloquent is an abomination. Pure bloods are the most humans.
no.
I know it's it is counterintuitive, but it's how it is.
Huh?
Yeah, pure bloods are like most human. Half blood are
No,
like half, like most
there's conflict
more
in that
snakes.
due to because I remember taking Elekin's base from the Forgotten Realms, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, like but anyway, the new race of UNT is now called like pure blood. But seriously, here I've got the I put it in game
Oh,
discussion,
you're
but I've got
using the newer version. That's why I'm confused. Cause like, yeah,
UNT pure
the
bloods were the most humans. I just sent the wiki
yeah,
page.
because that is the new version. That was the revised version. Remember, of course, saying that Elokin would hate like what they fucking did to Yuan-Ti because they revised it. It used to be that
Okay, no. I meant I want to play a pure blood. It's just that even pure bloods are part serpents. Like they've got scaly patches. They can have serpent eyes
all right.
or forked tongue.
How do we do this?
Basically, I've just got a few questions. Like basically, pure bloods have serpent characteristics, but are mostly human-like.
Yeah,
So
but
basically, the thing.
again, the thing is we've already established the what you call this, the thing as that you want to are like the thing is we've already taken the lore from the classic one. The problem is if I update the lore now, then Elokin would need to adapt to it too.
I mean,
It's
what
only
do you
fair.
mean by that? I mean, why couldn't be? Look, I don't see why we could be like. Well, once again, I said I don't seem to understand. We're all from different worlds. Why couldn't there be just different histories there?
There could be. I don't disagree with the there be different histories.
Like different cultures too, and different
I'm just
origins.
thinking about the potential conflict that's gonna happen later on.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't really know much about Eloquent's whole thing. I need more details in that case because I
Elokin's
don't
whole
know the
thing
lore.
is that like he's a pure blood Yuan-Ti. Like it's been stated already, and they're haughty. They like you know what their attributes, dude, right?
Yeah, I know the stats from. I know that in the new books they kind of revised the stats so that they are no longer immune to poison and stuff.
Oh no, not
I know the pure
like
stats.
the general personality.
Of UNT, well, they're according to their. I mean, it's. I know that they're usually neutral evil, but it can be others too. Like, just because it's a general trend doesn't mean that it's, absolute.
Yes.
Especially when you consider that with different cultures and history, well, they're gonna have different temperament because
Yeah,
contrary
I'm not
to like
talking about
orcs.
you as your character. I'm talking about Elikin as the character. He's taking Yuan-Ti as its base form. Like literally. You can even
I don't.
So what I'm thinking about is the potential conflict later on, but okay.
Well, I don't see what the conflict would be.
that you are not a pureblood and that there is like going to be conflict within at least the two characters. But that should be interesting. To see anyway.
But the thing is, I actually kind of talked to Eloquin about him. UNT kind of, the more you are snake-like, the higher up you're in society. So in the social hierarchy. So mine being not very snake-like and Eloquin being snake-like. I kind of already all explained it to Eloquin and he seemed really fine with it. Actually, he said that he was very excited to see what it would give. If we can avoid, we can always just speak outside of games to make sure that our characters remain in a non-frustrating state of, not trying to kill himself, because, my character would actually be really ready to serve Eloquin.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time.
Yes. Just ask something. But basically it was just a couple questions about, we can worship the god later on, as long as I want to be a paladin, Ode of the Ancients, UNT, because I think it's the most effective way to play it and, make sense with the roleplay and stuff. But basically my other questions would be, I thought a lot about how it would work if a guy was half serpent. So one of the traits that I'd like him to have, that I want him to be very serpent, even though he's very humanoid still. So one of the traits they can have is a forked tongue, and I just want to know, would they be able to smell with it? Because if they are able to smell with it, that means they have a secondary they have an olfactory organ in their mouth, and that means that they can also smell underwater and smell with, it's a directional sense of smell. So would they be able to do that or not?
Let's see.
Because I want him to have a forked tongue. It's just if he has a secondary, olfactory organ, Jacobson organ, I think it's called, would change whether he's able to smell with his tongue or not. That's not very important. I just think it's a neat detail to know.
So the thing with it is, it's not exactly a sense of smell. It's more a sense of taste. They taste the air.
No, what they do, I looked it up, I really did research on my goddamn snake. No, they flick their tongue out.
They gather chemicals from the air and they taste it.
Yeah. No, see, what they do is they flick their tongue out, which gathers chemicals there, and then they put those chemicals in their Jacobson organ, which is in their mouth, which is accessible by their mouth. So, it's not the tongue that smells, it's the tongue that takes the chemicals to bring them back in the mouth.
Yeah, again, they taste it, they don't smell.
No, the Jacobson organ, we have it also, it's just in our nose instead. And it's accessible by the mouth, so they use the tongue, and since it's forked, it also offers a directional sense of smell, and it means that they can also smell underwater for aquatic snakes. I spent 2 hours researching this.
Yeah, the thing is that... Wait, huh? Yeah, what I meant is that, snakes don't smell. They really just go and taste.
Okay, are you saying that it's the tongue that smells, or are you saying that they use their tongue to smell? In that case, it's smell and not taste. If it's not just that, okay, how do snakes smell? Yeah, so snakes use their tongue as a sensory organ to smell. Snakes essentially smell by using their forked tongue to pick up scent particles in the environment. Then the snake brings its tongue back into its mouth, where it makes contact with the Jacobson's organ. Also called the vomeronasal organ. It's the paired auxiliary olfactory sense organ.
rephrase the
We also have
search. So rephrase it like this. Can snakes smell?
look at this. That's how it works. We have the same goddamn organ in our nose. Does that mean that we don't smell either?
Alright, I'm not going to argue anymore. I'm not going to argue about this.
Like, just say, like, could he smell with his tongue? Yes or no? That's just all I want to know. He's gonna have a forked tongue either way. It's just. It's just a yes or no question. I made my research. Like, seriously, I spent quite a lot of time researching snakes, apart from interest other just for this character.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's.
sure.
I didn't want to be aggressive or anything. I'm sorry. My temper can flare up sometimes. Just a sec. Okay. Now, if I've been wondering if one of his eyes was covered in scale. Could it be possible that he has, how's it called? I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically it's an ocular scale. You know how very, very, very few snakes actually blink because they don't have eyelids. Instead, they have some kind of transparent scale over the eye. I think it'd be a cool design option to have one of his eyes be like that, like have his face covered in scales and that eye on that side is like that, can't blink or anything. Just a big old snake eye that keeps there and, you know.
If it's only really something that's
yeah,
visual,
it's only visual. Like, I mean, if you have a flashbang, even if I can close my eyes, I'm not gonna see shit after that. You know, it's only visual. You know, spots of scales like on his hands and on his face. That's pretty classic for us. Molting. Would he molt? Like shed his skin? That's something I've been wondering.
If you're half human, half snake, I would say no.
Okay.
I'm willing to give it the thing wherein if you are For example, under the sun, you have increased resistance to heat, but that's about it.
Oh, that's fine with me. Well, I was just wondering. Also, the thing is that they say, and I think it makes sense, that you and T are, carnivorous.
Yeah.
So having a carnivore, like Berta's herbivorous, most people are omnivorous, and this guy could be carnivorous. What do you think about that? Like, not that, like, they could eat plants, but it just wouldn't do much for him.
I'm fine with it.
Cool. Now, yeah, diurnal snake eyes. It's just like snake eyes, but with round pupils instead of slit one. It's classic snake Yuanti thing having snake eyes. No heat sense. It's not a pit viper, so. Now the thing I've been wondering is that since it's a carnivorous, like race, like people, which are based on snakes, would it make sense to have a special kind of like pointy dentition? Like mine would have fangs, but would be back fanged. I know UNT can have fangs, like no venom glands. He can't actually have venom. He doesn't have poison, but just kind of back. In my case, he would be rear fanged, so like fangs in the back of the mouth. I think it'd be cool, like just pointy carnivorous teeth instead of having, you know. There's no need to have molars like we have if we don't eat plants, right?
Uh-huh. So you want to have... If it's a cosmetic choice, then then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not asking, like, he wouldn't have, he would be rear fanged, but he wouldn't have any poison, like no venom glands. And I'm asking for like a kind of carnivorous dentition, like pointy bits, but like,
Like I
no,
said,
I'm
if
not
it's,
asking for any advantage on any bite attack.
Like I said,
Like,
if
I'm not
it's a
asking for
design
any
choice,
special
then it's alright.
Yeah, it's only for design choice.
Yeah, like I said, if it's a design choice, then
Yeah.
it's alright.
And that one, I think it would be funny. Like, it'd be pretty funny if he could unhinge his jaw like a snake, but since he still has just a normal human mouth, he can't really open it any wider without tearing his cheek. I think that would just be a kind of funny bit. And, okay, and finally, my last little thing is that as a carnivorous kind of species, I think he should be able to eat fresh, I say fresh, raw eggs and meat, and even think it's nice to eat considering that's what kind of snakes do. Because, like, not be able to eat cooked stuff too, but like considering that before Salmonella actually mutated and started infecting eggs, fresh eggs were, raw eggs were safe to eat even for us normal humans, and like tartar and stuff exists with fresh raw meat. I think it'd be cool if we could like eat raw eggs. Yeah. Yeah, sadly, yeah, they actually, like 40 years ago in America, it was also like safe to eat raw eggs, but because like salmonella, yeah, it could have been in the meat, but it never really got into the eggs. Like studies were done and proved that yeah, no, it's not in the egg. But since then, I think like the bacteria mutated or something, so now it's able to get into the egg. Like it's a weird evolution thing, I guess. So raw eggs are no longer safe to eat if they're not pasteurized, sadly. But I think it'd be funny if one time you could just go crunch on a raw egg in front of the rest of the party without flinching, because like, yeah, it tastes good for him.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Nice. Now I'm wondering, would a like snake-human mix be oviviparous? Because like some snakes are actually some very few, but some of them are, if I remember correctly. So like basically they would still create like eggs, but keep them internal until they hatch and then give live birth. So they'd still be viviparous, you say? Okay, so they have it. Like that doesn't change anything. It just means that they, have a belly button, since they did have a placenta and stuff. I was just that one doesn't change anything. I was just curious. I just kind of got into my head about how would that work. Although they wouldn't lay, they wouldn't lay the egg. They wouldn't lay the egg. They keep it in their organism until they were, they hatched, and then they would give live birth. That's what oviviparous is. Viviparous would be like humans, and oviparous would be like most lizards and birds. So lay eggs. Some amphibians are oviviparous. It's weird to see like a frog with like tadpoles in it. Kind of moves around. And I'm just thinking real quick. So that's most of it for like the biological aspect of how would a UNT work, like thing done. So that's pretty cool. And sorry, I'm just kind of keeping my because it's the kind of I've been kind of having like this interesting contrast in mind that Eloquent looks a lot like a reptile, like he's a reptile, but he doesn't really act like one. Like he's very, very civilized, despite what some acts may indicate. So I think it'd be cool if mine could have a lot more kind of, like despite looking a lot more human, then Eloquent would still have a lot more kind of snake instincts, so like a prey drive. I think that'd be cool. Like when he's hungry, he really just want to squeeze the nearest small mammal because, hunting. Oh, cool. Right. Nice. Yeah, cool. So now I just kind of... Yeah. Gonna have to go shopping once I get that character though, because a spear and like whatever armor they give you when you start out is not gonna be enough at that level. But yeah, I guess we could workshop the whole religion thing later. Kind of wrote down a lot of stuff, but like most of like the personality, like a couple flaws, couple things. Yeah, and since you permit the custom origin rule, I'm gonna change his racial trait. Because a paladin with +2 charisma, +1 intelligence is not very interesting.
What do you mean you're gonna reroll your... Oh, okay.
No, just the racial ability increases. I already asked you about it. Customize your origin rules from Tasha's Cauldron and everything. So basically, I changed it instead of having +2 charisma +1 intelligence. I changed it to +2 strength +1 charisma, which would work much better for a because like +2 charisma +1 intelligence, I could make it work, but I'd be pretty much locked if I want to have like a effective paladin. I'd have to be a blessed warrior, which is interesting, but I'd much rather have go around using a polearm instead. So +2 strength +1 charisma is a lot more interesting for my character, and yeah.
I forgot
And yeah,
how tedious this is. But yeah, continue.
I was just gonna say, yeah, yeah, that's right. I made him have a wife. I just noted it in my thing. But yeah, so
Since we're
I guess
having
that's
character
more.
discussions, Bertha, would you like to discuss your villain character?
Ooh, villain character, you say?
What? Villain? What? That?
It was an
I don't-
idea.
I mean, I guess. Oh,
Did you ever get to realizing it?
no. I know, like villains are trying. Like, I don't know if I should bring that one. Maybe. I mean,
it would be fun.
I guess. I mean, I could bring a different one, but not that one, to be honest.
Up to you.
Yeah, I would just think about it and try to maybe work around it. And if it becomes like too much, like I don't want the party members to.
You don't want the party members to what?
I don't know because he is. I will say this: the villain, he's like he's not gonna be a persuasion type of person, and he likes to basically experiment, quote unquote. Yeah.
That's
So.
interesting.
Yeah. So basically, if they meet them, it's gonna be a fight, no matter what.
Human experimentation. I wonder how Isabella and Aziza would feel about that.
Well, not just human, but different species in general. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh boy.
I wonder how Isabella thinks and Aziza would feel about that. That's
Oh,
interesting.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I could just work on that and see.
No, I just remembered you mentioning a villain character, so I was like, yeah, since we're already talking about characters.
Yeah.
So is there anything else now in your notes? Oh, what?
Okay. It's just that there's another thing. Just that this villain has an artifact that connects to the origin of his master, which, yeah, that one thing as well.
The only reason Jess is even able to have the library is because she's a recurring character. Once she becomes a player, she'll lose that.
Ah. Okay.
But yeah, so I guess we'll discuss that once you have for lack of a better term, a better concept. Well, no, not a better concept, like a more solid one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my only other things I wanted to discuss were, I guess, about like the whole religion thing, but we can always do that later. Because I think that's gonna need a bit more in-depth discussion and planning and stuff. Because I do think it would be nice to worship specifically Ouroboros, because First of all, it opens a lot of this like cool symbol,
I mean, I
but
don't
also,
mind your character worshipping Ouroboros. The
also
problem
because
is a paladin borrows its power from its god.
yeah, so does a cleric.
Yeah, and it was established that Bertha's whatever it is because the thing is with Bertha's god is that like she gave me just free reign over it.
Hmm. I mean, had I known that I
We'll
had
see.
understood that like there were just no paladins in that campaign. That's a shame.
This no, there are paladins,
Yeah,
but
because
I wasn't. If someone wanted to have a paladin, I would still approve it. The thing is that it would have had to be an existing god, but I
Mm. Yeah, because we were given a lot of details about that kind of stuff. You know, existing god. I don't really know what you mean by that.
what do you mean you weren't given a lot of detail about this, huh?
I mean, what we'll start with that. What do you mean by existing god?
A god that already existed, Captain?
Okay, what are those gods?
Give him.
Because all we know is that there's this. All we learned is that there's this one goddess that apparently does everything.
What do you mean? You learned about all the other gods, the god of knowledge, the god of fate, the god of fertility, the god of the underworld.
Nope. Not that I
Yes, you
remember. When?
Were you not in that session?
I don't think so.
Now I'm questioning if you are. Wait. Okay. I'll have to find the exact session number. Well, not exactly the exact session number, but
Like, just maybe if you could just give me like the kind of
yeah, I'll give you the
time
list.
span.
What do you mean time
Yeah,
span?
because like, but like when, like the moment, like when the in which kind of arc?
It
What were
was
we
still
doing when we learned that?
It was still when it was around you were still in Karen in Moonbright, and it was still when what was his name? I know him as Lilliputian. Fuck.
Drangor?
Yeah,
Gar.
and Dragor was here.
Alright, so maybe I wasn't there at that session, but also it's been like a while, so maybe I don't have the best memory, so
Yeah. All right.
maybe I
I'll
just
give
forgot that
you-
part or I was spaced out. That happens too.
I'll give you a list of the existing gods.
Okay, because
Well, of
That's
the
the-
gods
that's
that
the
are in
thing
here.
I don't quite understand. We seem to all be from other worlds. Why would I worship a god that exists in Karen if my character is not exactly from Karen?
What I meant is that. So the problem is, alright? So remember when Bertha first joined?
She fell from the sky.
Yeah. And so up until now, Bertha hasn't really been communicating with her god.
Yeah,
I believe
she's
I
very close
discussed.
to her god.
I believe I discussed this with you, Bertha. How in that would like, because like she's tried several times, and she seems to not have answered.
Yeah, because the god doesn't have access to a world in which it doesn't exist. That makes sense.
Exactly. But
So why couldn't
yeah, the thing is with the paladin. So with the paladin, their
Yeah,
powers come from their god.
Yeah. Yeah, part of we have some of technically divine power. Their oath is not necessarily made to a god. But yeah, I guess yeah, their oath and their oath takes their power from divine powers. So yeah, it makes part like yeah gods. But what I think is that why couldn't he worship the god from home?
He could. I
But
don't. I don't mind him
yeah,
worshiping the god, but that will create
yeah,
complications with the character. But okay.
like what? Okay, no, but okay. So still with the emote, Colin the bin. Reste. Ok. Ce que je veux dire, c'est. What? Okay, so what I meant to try and say is that he could. That's the god he worships from home, but he could always worship other gods. Most people aren't like in a world where gods are real. It's pretty rare that someone worships a single god. Yeah, maybe he devoted himself to this one particularly. Doesn't mean that he can't worship others too. He could take his powers from another god while in
That
Karen.
could be a quandary that he's had with some character.
Yeah, having to kind of go through that. Damn, my god, like my literally our creator, like the representation of the multiplicity of being and cycles is just not here. What do I do? That would be an interesting thing to tackle as a character, I think. Having to kind of find another fate while he's, you know, in this place, while still retaining his old one, would be an interesting thing to do, I think.
Or maybe not try finding another fate. Maybe try and reconnect with said god. Depends on how you want to go about it.
Also, I think having to deal like a bit like Berta does, having to deal in a world that, you know, they kind of devoted and like he's a paladin. Oh, like he's a paladin of this guy, and it's very important to him. He's that very devout, and yeah, he may worship some other reptilian gods on the side with like his wife or something. I don't know, but like Ouroboros is still like the main guy, so getting sent to a place where he just does not have access to him anymore would be a very interesting thing to work as a character, I feel. And like, also we discussed it with Eloquent, having him be kind of ready to accept Eloquent as his lord, as his like superior, would be interesting for the two, kind of create some kind of chemistry between the two. And also the fact that he worships Ouroboros, while Eloquent mentioned at some point that Ouroboros is not seen very kindly by his people, would lead some interesting tension to, I feel. So it's just
Ouroboros, like Elegant sees any god as like stupid.
Yeah, but like Ouroboros is seen as kind of like a demon or something by his people. He said like that's one of the reasons why he doesn't like circles for some reason. So yeah, having like two very different point of view on like maybe they're not even the same Ouroboros, but they kind of represent the same concept, you know, infinite cycles and stuff. So having very different point of view on this would be interesting, I feel. That's why I kind of chose Ouroboros amongst other reasons. And also I just kind of imagine a very sick, like, only symbol for the guy, so there's that also.
Alright. I forgot that travel is very fucking complicated. Oh well.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had for now. So.
Alright, I'll send you a list of the gods later.
Yeah, I'll choose one to get my juice from in the... You know, my magic power from the... Well, I mean Karen, I guess. Oh, that means that Berta gets her power from another, not from her goddess, but from one of these two, I guess.
And Berta did discover that her goddess doesn't exist.
Wasn't Karen.
Yeah, she had an existential crisis about it. But Elegant was like, Bertha, get over it. I was excited to tackle that about with Bertha.
I mean, I guess if she comes from a world in which interworld travel is not well known or documented, she couldn't really know that not all gods exist in all worlds. Some of them have multiple aspects in multiple worlds, but most of them are confined to one specific world.
Although Bertha discovered her god having seen with someone. Are you still even there, Bertha? Are you listening? I'll take that as a yes, but your mic is muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I still remember that. I didn't forget that one. That is way too important.
You're way too important. Okay. But yeah, so alright, let me note that I need to give you a list of the gods, or at least
a few of them.
Summary. Yeah, alright. What else do I need to do there today? Nothing else for now. Nothing else apart from rushing this. Speaking of things, like, hopefully audio problems have been fixed. Cause like
yeah, it's been a few sessions where it happened.
Wait, a few sessions?
There was a few sessions where like there wasn't any sound from one side or another, but like most of the time someone like Mix came in the chat and
what I thought was we hadn't, not exactly whatchamacall this. I didn't know, because the past few sessions, the main problem we've had was not audio, but we didn't the stream was lagging so bad.
Oh.
So I thought audio was fine until it was pointed out that it wasn't last session.
Okay, I see.
But it should be good, I think. Because I think I fixed it last session.
But yeah, that was pretty much all I had to discuss. If you have a few questions for things that I just haven't brought up, I guess just ask me.
What class are you going to? What is your plan for the whole class? The paladin class?
I want to go for protection style. Get myself a polearm with the polearm master feat, and I'd have the Oath of the Ancient, since it seems to be the most interesting to roll. Well, one of the most interesting to roleplay with this kind of character. Like, it's not too hard to do. It's not like all righteous like devotion, but it's still kind of, try to do good, try to keep things well. So like, it's not like he wouldn't be like lawful good. He'd be neutral good. You see?
I see. I get what you mean.
So it's like, yeah, the Oath of the Ancients, they still go fight against evil, but it's not like smiting fiend for justice and stuff. It's more like, I want to keep the world in a good place because I like living in the world and I like how it is, and I want to keep it that way because I like it. It's maybe a bit more selfish, but I don't know. I think it's less strict than devotion, and also there's a lot of good survivability options in Oath of the Ancient. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. It has a lot of like kind of druid things in it. It's doesn't have very good channel divinities though, so which is why I'm glad that you accept any kind of official rules, because in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything they added Harness Divine Power, which basically lets me spend once per day, lets me spend one use of channel divinity to get back some spell slots, and since Paladins don't have a lot of those. Yeah, that'd be a lot more useful than most of my channel divinities. They're just kind of bad.
We're also
The rest is fine though.
We're also using the mana point system, so honestly, the fucking spell points would be more useful.
Yeah, because seriously, my channel's divinities suck. With like one of them is just a worse version of a spell I get by being Ode of the Ancient, and the other's just kind of, it's actually it's called Turn the Fateless. It's like Turn Undead. It's like just as useful as Turn Undead, except it's for fiends and fays instead of undead, but it's still kind of very situational.
Situational. Yeah.
Situational. So having the option to kind of, switch it around, have more spells instead, very practical, because otherwise I'll just kind of never use it or very rarely use it.
Understood.
But yeah, I'd be a polearm wielding, protection, Ode of the Ancient Paladin. That's kind of the build I'm going for.
Okay.
In phase is some.
How about your background? We already know your race. We know your class. What's your background?
I was gonna go for head of faction, so like head of like this specific order of paladins. I think that'd be cool. Would work with like the fact that he's very devoted and like, a paladin too. So like head of faction, he'd be head of this specific order of paladin.
All right.
Makes it. It's an interesting background, and it makes it. I can actually work it into my backstory. So that's.
That's about it for my questions, really. We can tackle the other. We can tackle. So basically, the rest we'll just have to tackle in session.
All right.
Um,
If that's all, I'm gonna go real quick.
all right.
So thanks for the chat. See ya.
See you,
Yeah.
Zoop.
Next week.
All right. What else do I have to do? Well, no, I just need to get 2 more Primogems, so that's 120, I think. And then this event is worthless to me. But Bertha, I do need to discuss with you Lumine, your god, at some point.
Yeah, I I'm actually writing everything down, to be honest. I mean,
You
it's
still haven't given me
pretty.
that document that I asked you for.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy. It's because like I'm trying to, not make this complicated, to be honest, because I am that type of person makes things like once I write things like, oh wait, this is too complicated. Well, if I do that, it's just gonna make it more difficult. So I'm trying to make it a bit more easy around.
I don't mind complicated so long as it's willing to be discussed.
Yeah.
Like, for me, talking about shit is key. Where's that area? Come on. Okay. Huh? Is it inside? Underground? Alright, one more treasure chest, and I will have all the Primo Gems from this event, and I don't care anymore. And I have 16 minutes to do it. Isn't that just lovely? Have you even gotten started on the document, Bertha?
Oh no, I did. I copy and pasted the entire my background story and made it into a paragraph like you said, and I have started with my my other stuff like additional notes basically about what's about Berta and I and her continents, and I'm now trying to focus on the gods basically.
Alright.
Also her children, yes. Also I did some of her children's.
Yes, I need more detail about Bertha's children because they are going to
Yeah,
be
that's
a point
very
of the...
yeah. Yeah, I'm focusing on the main one, which is Silica. Yeah. I mean, do you want my bio now? Because my bio is just in paragraphs now. Or unless you already read them all.
More backstory.
Backstory, yeah.
So I'm good if you want to give me your bio now. But what I really need is a lot more
the other ones,
regarding
right?
the children.
Yeah. Got it. I'll just send in the her bio, her background story, and I'll just focus on the extra notes. I definitely see the person. Oh wait, did I was online. Damn it. Why am I so upset like this? Okay, let me just send this one first. I'll just continue focusing on my... Hopefully this works.
Come on. I need 10 more points for the fucking last Primo Gem. Okay. Sad. I am fucking...
Okay.
They should just call Sumeru as the fucking meat capital of Teyvat. I've been getting meat for the last fucking map. Like literally, this area here is full of fucking large boars.
So that would be quick.
I wonder, did they adjust damage? Because I'm doing more damage than I think, yeah. I think I'm doing more damage than normal.
I don't know. I wonder if they just buff Electro?
Yeah, but I'm not using an electro character at the moment.
Yeah.
I wonder, they might have buff damage without me realizing it. I'll check. Although... Although it might just be that, like... Because I've been moving artifacts around, that damage is just higher. Because I changed my build at some point. Alright, I have all the Primogems. I don't care about the rest of this event anymore. Now let's go pull for that donut. Give me my donut.
Oh. I have to try to get Kokomi's like weapon.
Yeah, I have Kokomi, so weapon is the final thing I need. So 7 pulls. 1. Still no pull. Nope. Give me a character that I have C6. Let's go. Hey. 7 pulls and nothing. Hi.
As usual.
Yeah. That's to be expected, really. I think I still have standard pulls. Nope, no standard pulls. Okay. Well, okay. How far in am I in the weapon banner anyway? Wait, so I did 7, right? So 6. Oh, so I'm at 61. 61 pulls. Okay, so about 20 more pulls. And I'll get a 5-star out of this banner. I still have 7 minutes on the Lost Riches event. If I only, like, If it wasn't only the Primo Gems that I needed, I'd do it, but there's really no use. There's really no use in doing the rest of the event, the rest of the Lost Riches event. I don't care much for the CD pet. I already have 2 from the past 2 events.
Sit. ついていきます。この仕事は排除するべきですね。次の仕事はやっ
I don't need Ganyu. I don't need more. Well, I kind of wanted more constellations for Kokomi, but it doesn't matter. What kind of file is this?
Oh, this is just a background. I just made it into paragraphs for, because you wanted a paragraph. So,
No,
yeah.
what kind of file is this? It isn't recognized
Oh.
by ODT?
Really? It's a Word document. Oh dear. Office.
Save it as a Word document.
God damn it! I knew it. Okay, now let me do it again. Give me a second.
You're fine. You're fine.
師匠の技を食らいなさい。やっはっはっはっやっご安心を。あれ狂いなさい。やっ
Sorry, I'm not really one to open files that I don't recognize.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's do this way then.
Days. 7 days. 7 days, okay. I also still need to unlock story quest. Alright, I think that's it for now. I'll just stream again later.
Okay.